This is the United Uprising channel. Welcome to today's show. If you didn't see the video I did on Doja Cat a couple of days ago, or if you haven't seen the videos I've done over the years, if you're someone who's new, and I hope there are new people who are finding my channel, I've covered the coding before with this event that occurred a couple of years ago involving pizza, involving a lot of the foods, hot dogs, pizza. I've broken it all down over and over again over the years. And they're still doing this in front of us. They're still using this like really passive humor that people aren't picking up on, and they laugh because there's a laugh box in front of them, and they don't even know what they're laughing at. But these people are always speaking in code. And I'm going to show you this clip from Saturday Night Live, and there's a good chance that this video does get a strike, but it's referencing pandas. And I have to very kind of word around this because of the censorship and the truth getting out about pandas and what pandas actually mean. People are like, oh, they're talking about the pandas in China, and this is like a big narrative that's out there about China wanting pandas, bringing pandas back, all this stupid stuff that, you know, while the world is burning around us that they're talking about. But they don't take any of these situations, you know, lightly. They love using these situations so that they could put their perversion right in front of our faces, okay? So the depraved young thing, the depraved acts that they do with young, what's the word I could use? Human beings, young human beings, these depraved acts. One of them is referenced over and over again as what they call panda eyes, okay? Panda eyes has to do with the Hershey Highway and youngsters, okay? And they believe, you know, when they do these acts with, I'm talking young. I'm not talking like 15, I'm talking young, okay? And when they do this disgusting act on the Hershey Highway with youngsters, that their eyes bulge pretty much out of their head, and panda eyes thus is where this comes from. I can't say any more detail other than that, and it's enough detail anyway because it's absolutely disgusting. It breaks your heart. It makes me want to put a hole through the wall. More than that, it makes me want to do a lot of things to these people because they make me so sick, and I can't wait for our Lord and Savior to come back and take care of them. So this video, I'm going to show you a clip because on Saturday Night Live, they didn't even waste any time to put up a video. And I covered Saturday Night Live last week on my other channel, Eye for an Eye. If you are new and you've only on this channel, you want to make sure you've seen this video on Saturday Night Live. It's on my Eye for an Eye channel, link below. And again, I'm going to be uploading over there this week. I'm going to go back and forth between these channels. So make sure you're subbed to all my channels, link below. That video openly talking about becoming a Satanist, some band that no one's ever heard of. They pull them off the streets pretty much. As long as they're singing about Satan, they'll promote them in the mainstream. So they throw them on Saturday Night Live. Of course, they're probably Eastern Star witches, probably gone through Job's Daughters, Rainbow Girls, and they're promoting Satan. Well, Saturday Night Live doesn't miss a beat. It's almost like every week when there's an episode, I might as well just look out for Saturday Night Live. And again, because I cover some of the stuff on Saturday Night Live, they recommend the videos to me. Okay, you couldn't pay me to sit through this show. I mean, it couldn't be less funny. It's unbelievable. But they recommend the videos. And of course, I got recommended this. This is a clip. This is how they opened Saturday Night Live. And it got a lot of headlines this morning about, oh, isn't this so funny? Joe Biden with a panda. And they use undertones in this video clip I'm about to show you. Listen to some of the sick stuff because they constantly are talking to this panda about intercourse. They're constantly talking to the panda. And the panda's going, oh, it's not fun to have SC, you know what, in the bedroom, et cetera, et cetera. They're referencing this. This is how they get away with this stuff. They do it right in front of our faces. Take a look at this weird, I mean, if anything, anyone out there, if you're like, oh, this guy's reaching and stretching, I'm not. They constantly do this stuff with pizza, all of it. I keep showing you. Doja Cat, that clip I just did, that video I just did, if you didn't see it, watch it after this. Okay, talking about pizza and hot dogs. This is what they do. And people watch it like, I don't really understand what they're doing. They're just kind of strange and quirky, etc. This is what they're referencing. Understand they speak in code right in front of us. Just like they use signs and symbols, they speak in code. And all these codes are always referencing the disgusting stuff that they do with youngsters. Okay, so they just did it with Doja Cat talking about the food references. Panda's the other reference, and nobody could watch this clip and be like, oh, it's kind of funny. I don't think anybody out there would find it funny. The audience is laughing because they're zombified, and they're sitting there looking at a box that's telling them to laugh, so they're laughing, or they're chiming in laughter, because nobody would find this funny. I don't care what your sense of humor is. Even if you have a warped one, you wouldn't even understand what they're referencing. It makes no sense. It's awkward. Okay? They're not putting this stuff out there because they're thinking it's funny. They're putting it out there to reveal it right in front of your faces. And they're the ones laughing behind the scenes because they know what they're saying, but they know their audience doesn't. Look at this bizarre clip from Saturday Night Live.
Please welcome Chan Chan. Hi, Chan Chan. I'm glad you're here. I know we're all
that the presidents of the two biggest economies in the world met, and everyone's just like, What's up with the pandas? I mean, like, I get it. I'm hot, I'm smart, I'm alluringly asexual. I mean, I don't know anyone in China. I haven't been back since I was a baby. And now I have to make friends as an adult? Ugh. I just want to eat bamboo, sneeze in a cute way, and not have sex, okay?
Why don't you like sex?
Have you had it? It's crazy.
So again, they reference it multiple times, right? That thing in the bedroom is crazy. I don't want to have this. What does that have to do with the panda ban in America and breeding I mean, you know, what they say, it has to do with breeding pandas. I mean, you know from seeing this exactly what they're talking about. Of course, they even sexualize the panda in the beginning of the clip. Oh, I'm hot and I'm sexy and I'm asexual. These are all done by design. Nobody's writing this going, unless they're demonically possessed, which most of the writers and the actors in Saturday Night Live are, because that's the only reason they get cast on these shows for the most part, or cast in Hollywood. Not for the most part, that's the truth. They're all members of secret societies, okay? They get their rocks off on doing this stuff out in the open and getting away with it. And then what do? You see videos like mine disappear, and you look there and you go, wait a minute, why is this video down? He's talking about pizza? Well, what do you think they're so afraid of? Is finding out truth about that. And they literally did a deep sweep of the internet after that whole event occurred. They had to create a psyop around that whole event. Why? Because people were waking up. I was doing videos like 15 hours a day. I was doing 12-hour live streams back then. It was so insane, the stuff that was being uncovered. And a lot of those videos are available on the website, Uprising Revival. If you haven't seen it and you're a member of the website, watch them over there. Okay, that is stuff you could not discuss over here. And of course, if you aren't a member, I highly recommend you join so you can learn more about this stuff from McMartin to all these things that are actually going on. Okay, they're going on right in front of our noses, and they're tricking us, and they're using a different narrative, and they're censoring anyone that exposes their code words and all the other crap that they do. So the headline says SNL's Biden gets upstaged by Tian, the panda, in the cold open. Again, a clip that nobody found funny. It says it was politics as usual on Saturday Night Live at this week's cold open. It took on the aftermath of Joe Biden's long-awaited meeting with President Xi Jinping. While the real president has confirmed that real progress was indeed made during his meeting with Jinping, he may have undone some of the goodwill he called, because he called him a dictator following their meeting, then did it again. But this Biden tried to paint a sunnier picture. And of course, that stuff's all fake. I mean, even people out there that believe the mainstream narrative, right? They believe the stuff that Fox News and et cetera are covering, that he's in bed with China. So what do you think? There's friction between him and Jinping? I mean, who do you think's giving them? Our government is giving them all the land here in America. Our government has sold us out to China. Don't forget, which I've covered since removed, of course. When we talk about our national debt, people just think in their heads, they're like, oh man, what does that mean? Like we were adding up me and my neighbor's debt, our credit card debt, and that's how we get there, adding up everybody in my apartment complex's debt, and that's how we have a national debt. Our country is in debt to China, okay? That's who we're in debt to. Okay, and when China comes to collect on the bill, which is what they're doing, what happens is they take over everything. And if you haven't seen how China's run, it's the most disgusting country. I love watching these libs who are like pushing communism and socialism. They're so stupid. They're like, oh, it's great over there because no one's judging. You know, they believe all the narratives of racial and tension and all this crap here. They are literally slaves in China, so much so that they have nothing going on in their heads. Look at some of the civilians who are just okay with this social system with like, oh, I went to get money out of the bank account, and my bank account was declined and closed because I posted something on social media that was against Jinping. Oops. And now I can't go travel and watch and see my mom dying on her deathbed in the hospital. And they're okay with this stuff. And these idiots in our country think our country's so bad and they want that. It's incredible. It's incredible. They're going to get what they asked for. And then when they're looking for stuff and handouts for people like me and you, they ain't getting nothing. In fact, they're going to get a lot worse than they expect. So, the article just goes on to try to make light of this video clip. And they're like, while the black and white bears are certainly a reason to celebrate, the Wall Street Journal asked a question in everyone's mind, which reminded the president, China relations broke off this past year because you called presidency a dictator, but your summit last week saw remarkable strides in mending the relationship. Would you do it again? He goes on to say, next question. So they played to the left, right, who are watching it into the whole China thing. Our country is giving us away, Republicans and Democrats to China. They already have, okay? And we're screwed big time. Their military is ready to wipe us out here on foot, really. So that's why I constantly am talking about how it's a numbers game and we need to get our numbers up because we cannot rely on our military to do anything for us. Most of them are Manchurian candidates anyway, and we're going to need civilian help in this. But anyway, back to the topic here, okay? This is how they subvertly do this. Nobody's sitting there going, what do they mean? Why are they doing this with the panda? They're like, oh, well, this guy doesn't understand what he's talking about. They're doing it with the panda because the panda ban and all this stuff. Oh, yeah. And then the topic happens to be because everybody knows the meaning of panda eyes, okay? Everybody knows what the reference to pizza is. Everybody knows what the reference to hot dogs is and sauce and applesauce. Okay, there's code words that everybody's discovered and realized what they actually mean, okay? So they can just shove this out in front of your face when that's the topic because they know they can put a panda out there. And then all the stuff they're talking about have to do with stuff in a bedroom, and nobody's going, yeah, that's a little bit adverse. That's a little bit strange. There's no humor to it. It's baseless humor. It's mocking us to our faces and talking about this stuff that is real. This is stuff that's actually going on. These people code these things. They do these acts with kids, and then they have code words, etc. for it. And that's how they email each other. They get away, even though they control everything. But even if a civilian found one of their emails, they'd never be able to prove any of the stuff that's said in the emails because they speak in code. So they would never go to court anyway, even though the courts are set up to protect them. So this is supposed to be a funny clip from Saturday Night Live. And again, the chances gets a strike even for saying the word panda eye. So please make sure you're subbed to my other channels, Eye for an Eye, as well as A Call for Vengeance. I'm building those out. I need your help in building those out. But please make sure you're subbed to it now. It's really important because I'm going to be uploading on those channels this week. Especially Eye for an Eye, so I hope more people will be over there. And of course, well, I mean, I know a lot of you are already from that channel, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know how to even keep up and say anything to anybody out there because it's like you look at all this stuff, you go back and forth, you don't know what channel I'm on, and it's ridiculous because they've done this. But, we need to all kind of just make sure we're all connected to each other because next thing you know, we're not going to be connected to each other. We're going to be, and we just go, it's important for us to at least be talking about these issues, helping other people wake up to these issues. That's why it's so important for people to sub to the channels. I know it's annoying to do, but please do that now if you haven't yet. I thank you all for being here. Hope you're all well. God bless you as always and your families.